Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine, who qualified through Path B in qualifying. Belgium, the favorite to qualify from this group. Group winner at minus 175. How are you prognosticating looking at this group where it seems like there's a team that's very popular among people in terms of Belgium based upon their players, based upon recent a certain level of success, at least in qualifying. They're absolute beasts in qualifying. And three teams also in the group with question marks beside them. What do you make of Group E?
Yeah, I fully expect Belgium to win this group. This is the kind of group where put it this way: if this was a qualifying group, they'd win all the matches. They're streets clear of these other three nations, in my opinion. And I think the problem they had at the World Cup was that they had a couple of teams that were a bit frisky. And there's only one frisky team, in my opinion, in this group at the moment, and that's Ukraine. So I'm going to back Belgium and Ukraine on the dual forecast at plus 120. I think that's the best way in. I understand what you're saying about Belgium's fragility at the back, but I don't think these teams have enough to test them. Romania, they struggled to create chances in qualifying. Again, in what was the easiest group of all the qualifying groups, Group I, Andorra, Kosovo, Belarus, Israel, they struggled to create chances against all of those. So even though Belgium might be lacking at the back end, I think they'll struggle to create. And the same with Slovakia. Slovakia overperformed massively in qualifying. They ran Portugal pretty close, but they scored 17 goals from 12 expected goals, and that's just a rate that's just not going to continue. And generating at 1.2 expected goals for per game against average opponents like your Luxembourgs and Liechtensteins is not going to cut it, even if Belgium are lacking. So I fully expect Belgium to qualify, to finish in the top two. And then, we mentioned Ukraine in the outright. I definitely am hot on them as well. I think they could be a very interesting team to keep an eye on. As I mentioned in that outright, they were in the toughest group in terms of qualifying. And their underlying data doesn't look great because of that, but their spine, the performances were good, especially at the back end of the qualifying. The spine of the team looks very strong. Lunin, Zabani, Zinchenko, Dovbik, very, very strong spine. And they've got a bit of flair either side as well. With obviously Mudryk, not to mention him, have been potentially interesting down the left, and obviously Mikolenko as well. So they're a team that I put in higher esteem than Romania and Slovakia. And I think that Belgium and Ukraine will make themselves quite clearly the two best teams in this group and qualify 1-2. Taking the dual forecast, obviously the benefit of doing that is it doesn't matter what order. So if you are right and Ukraine do top the group, then as long as Belgium are second, I get a nice winner at plus 120. So that's the way I'm playing this group.
I backed Ukraine through qualifying, coming through the back door. I mean, in a group with England and Italy, no shame in finishing third in terms of qualifying there. Extra adversity, playing all of their games outside of their home nation, so didn't have the benefit of that. And even that, 7 of the 8 goals they conceded were in quote unquote away fixtures. You name the players, a Champions League winning goalkeeper in Lunin. Zabarny's had a very good season. Zinchenko, Dubnik had a huge season with Girona as well. His teammate Shahankov, they have legitimate talent in this team. And you mentioned Mudryk is the absolute X factor here. So look, Romania and Slovakia, they can't score. Romania only conceded 3 goals in open play in terms of qualifying, but they had a 1.1 non-penalty expected goals per game in qualifying. That's not going to cut it against when you step up in competition. Same thing with Slovakia, a 1.01 non-penalty expected goals in qualifying as well. And they qualified in a group where it was Portugal and who? No one. I know they have some experience in this side. Skriniar at the back, good player, but I question where the goals are going to come from. I think that the goals are going to be at a premium in this group. It might be the lowest scoring group here at Euro 2024. We should also mention that this group is the only one to contain two countries outside of the top 40 in the FIFA rankings as well. So I'll also make a play Romania not to qualify at plus 101. Look, it's their first major tournament since Euro 2016. A lot of young players. They've been strong defensively. I just question whether they'll have enough to get it over the line. So, no, Romania at plus 101 to qualify, and Ukraine over the point total of 4.5 at plus 123 will be my two plays from Group E.